Thank you. Now I recognize the gentleman from Pennsylvania, my friend Dan Meuser, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the ranking member. Thank you to the witnesses here with us today as well. So we're hearing some theory, some data, and some from the real world. I think this issue is, its intent is fine. The intent is to try to help. But the federal government stepping in and saying, I'm here to help, on a macro level, for every business and town throughout the United States, usually doesn't work out. The idea of helping employees by telling employers what to pay them. President Biden actually said that raising the minimum wage to $15 across the nation, regardless of the economic situation of the area, somehow that's going to help businesses through this very difficult recovery. So let's look at a little bit of the data. According to the Bureau of Labor, 392,000.48% of employees, of those of workers in the workforce, make the minimum wage. Another 1.2 million are in that category as well, but they earn tips. So they make much more than the minimum wage. 2/3 of those who make minimum wage within 9 months are out of the minimum wage category. 80% that make minimum wage are part-time. And it is estimated, and there's lots of reports on this, we have to agree upon that nearly 67% of the job losses that occur if we move to $15 are between the ages of 16 and 24. 16 years of age to 24. So that's when opportunity is being created, right? So again, there's reports from the CBO. They say 1.4 million jobs. The NFIB states how damaging it'll be. There was the Seattle report from a couple of years back. And I think all of us, I was in business for 25 years, small business, large business. If this would work, I think we'd all sign on and say, let's go. If this would actually do the things that theoretically we're hearing from economists that will take place. But there is a real world out there, and I live in it, and I still live in it. And Mr. Chairman, I have some testimony from the following small businesses: Boyer's Food, Knoebels, an amusement park in my district, Luigi's Brick Oven Pizza, great pizza in Tamaqua, Klinger's Restaurants, and Gary Siebert, who runs a small business resource association. And Boyer's Food has 374 full-time employees, 709 part-time. Their average wage is about $13. Supermarkets run on 1% margins. Okay, so doing this will force them to raise prices and have a more difficult time than they've already had. Knoebels is a amusement park that largely provides for summer jobs during the season, seasonal. Every kid within 60 miles, young person, wants to work for Knoebels during the summer because they sit at a pool and watch people come down on log flumes. And if we were to do this, they would have to enormously cut back. They're in central Pennsylvania, not Austin, Texas, or New York City. Klinger, a restaurant, same sort of situation. They believe they'd have 40% less business. They'd have to increase their prices and lose customers. And Luigi says the same thing. He'd have to increase his prices, which equals, in the real world, less customers. Increase the price, people want less of it. So I'll ask Mrs. Gressler this: since our restaurants have had the most difficult time during this pandemic and should be targeted in the upcoming so-called relief package, what would this do, Ms. Gressler, to restaurants applying this mandate on them?
This is the worst possible time that we could put a new mandate on restaurants. They've already reduced their employment by 20 to 30% during the pandemic. Dozens of restaurants have gone out of business completely, big name restaurants, hundreds, if not thousands, across the United States. have. And so when Congress is looking at ways to help these restaurants and other small businesses, I mean, this is not throwing them a lifeline. This is throwing them a load of bricks. You know, these businesses are out there struggling to survive, and they have the hope, especially as the vaccines are rolling out, that there is a future there and that they will be able to recover. But jobs that are lost to a $15 per hour minimum wage will not come back. Those are the types of jobs that big companies like Amazon will be able to, you know, automate out of existence, outsource to other companies. I mean, these jobs will not come back. And that is the sad reality here, is that we're talking about a completely different environment where there are not opportunities for tens of millions of Americans, especially young workers, to get their foot in the door.
Thank you very much. I yield back, Mr.